Well, I'm glad you're back at the study, and I'm glad we're back in this place together as we're talking about the chapters from Autopsy of a Deceased Church. And as we look at Lutheran Church of the Master, as I said before, we've got to do some hard analysis. We've got to ask the tough questions, and we've got to be willing to answer the tough questions. Now, in this third chapter, let me just give you some highlights. He talks about the past is the hero. In a lot of churches, that's what's always talked about. What happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, back in the good old days. I don't hear that much of that here at Lutheran Church of the Master. Every now and then it creeps back up and some things are shared. Let me share with you just a few thoughts that I highlighted in this third chapter. He says in the very first paragraph, he says, there were several points where these churches could have reversed the decline they were experiencing. And then towards the end of this says, but there would be no autopsy to perform if they had faced reality and in God's power reversed course. But they didn't. Now, I've shared stuff with you. I've shared where we're at, the decline that we're facing, the drop in membership, the drop in worship, the drop in finances. Over the last 20 years, we have seen a tremendous decline, and we can't deny that. The numbers speak very well for themselves. And right now, I really sense in my being that God's given us an opportunity to ask for His power, His presence, His promise to once again come and infiltrate Lutheran Church of the Master. Otherwise, I'll be the one to tell you our life is going to be short-lived. I'm not, I can't take a guess at how many years that would be, but I'm going to tell you not many more than we probably think of. He says in that next paragraph, says, the most pervasive and common thread of our autopsies was that the deceased churches lived for a long time with the past as hero. He goes on a couple pages later, he says, the good old days did not exist in their minds. The future held the best days. See, here's that thing. If we're talking about the past more than we're talking about the future, we've really lost our flavor. We've really lost the salt of the earth and the light of the world kind of concept. If the past is talked about more about where we're going, and even if it's unknown, we need to be pressing out towards that. We need to be talking that way. He says, yes, we respect the past. At times we reverse the past, but we can't live in the past. And I want to, as much as I'd like to go back to those days, I mean, there have been great days in my life and in my ministry. But where we are today is of utmost importance, and figuring that out. And then he says at the bottom of that one page, he says, but more than any one item, these dying churches focused on their own needs instead of others. And that's where we come to this whole concept of the past as our hero. We start looking at ourselves, our own needs, our own wants, instead of, what does this community need? What about the people outside of these four walls? What are they looking for, and what do they need most in life? And the answer to that question is Jesus, and how we get that to them. So please discuss at great length this chapter of The Past is Our Hero.